My name is Elizabeth Torres, and I am currently from Bolingbrook, Illinois. Ever since I was little, I think my mom had always kind of put in my head like that Loyola was the school that I should go to and that she wanted me to go to, and she wanted me to be a doctor. And so like when it was time for me to pick a college and I went visiting, I really liked Loyola, so I found myself there. Yeah, it wasn't as beautiful as it is now.
Oh, really?
When I was there, it was like not as nice, but my tuition money has made it look very nice, I feel. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the money that I've paid to that.
What did you study there?
I graduated with a degree in molecular biology. It's a lot fancier than I think that it is. It was just, I started with biology degree because I wanted to be a doctor, and then when I realized that going to med school and becoming a doctor was probably not where my life was going to take me, I switched my major a couple of times, but always in the science field, and I found that like what I liked, the classes that I liked the most was like on the molecular biology side, because there's different parts of biology, so it's like, studying more like about genes and genetics and like all of that fun stuff. So that's kind of why I ended up all the classes that I took, it ended up being that I emphasized in molecular biology. So, well, I tried. I worked in a lab, and I hated it because I'm a more social person than that allowed me to be. And I think it was just a matter of that just wasn't what I was meant to do. But obviously it took me that long to figure it out, which is okay. Everyone has their own path.
Exactly.
And I'll never go back and say that I regret getting the degree that I did, because I learned a lot and I met a lot of wonderful people.
And by yourself too, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously I did not continue to work in a lab, and then I even found jobs that I would work similar, like in the science field, but like on the office side, but it was like the same group of people, and like I literally would turn down jobs because I was like, I can't see myself being happy working here. Okay. So then I ended up finding some random job for a company that was like a for-profit university group, which was very unethical, so I left that. Okay. And so now I find myself, my day job anyway is working for Chase. I gave it a try. I think that's all you can do, is you can try, and perhaps I could have stayed in the field, and it wasn't that I don't think I could have been successful in it, because people were like, oh, well, if you want to be a professor, you just got to go back and get your PhD, and like continuing my education just wasn't a priority at that time, nor is it now, at least, for me. So I just knew, I was like, well, that's not what I want to do. And they were like, well, you could work in a lab and do all of this stuff. And I was just like, it just wasn't making me happy. So I knew, I believe that if you go to work, like you should be happy and you should be happy with what you do. And I knew that that was not going to make me happy, and it wasn't making me happy. So I was like, okay, well, what else can I do? And then so I just kind of started to see what else in my college life did I like to do. And so that's why I went a different route. Yeah, exactly. So like the problem with working into the lab is like when I tried to talk to like the other people that worked there, they literally would like have their headphones on. They looked at me like, why are you trying to talk to me? Like, go do your work. So I was just kind of like, yeah, like, so I was like, okay. And maybe that was just the lab that I worked at, I don't know. But I felt like that was just kind of like, okay, this is what I've now gotten myself into, and that's not what I wanted. So, working at Chase, at least it's more personable. Like I see different people all day, every day. Some are nice, some are not so nice, but at least I don't feel like I'm like cornered. So, aside from that, the last 2 years, I've also started my own Mary Kay business. And so that's kind of where I see my life going. Yeah. Nice. Hence the office. So that's kind of been more of my passion. That's why I like Chase is like my day job, because I have to pay off those student loans from Loyola. And I'm trying to pay those off as soon as possible. So, but yeah.
So how did you get into Mary Kay? I think from what I know of it, I'm not saying like that I do, but it's like an entrepreneurial business.
It is, yeah. So I didn't realize it at the time, but I grew up in a Mary Kay household. My mom is a Mary Kay sales director. So, for the last over 20 years, I've been exposed to Mary Kay and what it has. I just never thought it was for me, because I thought I was going to go to school and, live the American dream, graduate and get this awesome job and life was going to be great. But as many of us learned, that's not always the case. So when I graduated, I was like, okay, let's do this. And obviously my path went a different route. And then I went to an event with my mom. And looking at my mom, which I think a lot of people, they see like, oh, Mary Kay, that's like what my mom does. That's what my grandma does. Like, like that's what they do. And that's how I looked at it too, until like I went to like our convention, which we call seminar, with her, because I wanted to support her. And I was like, I was just taken aback by like all of the women. There's a lot of like professional women who were not a lot of doctors, but like nurses and teachers and, you know, like administrative professionals and executives and stuff. And then they found that Mary Kay was, you know, there's no cap on your career. Because like you said, it's a business. It's you start your own business, so you have full reign, you know, to do and run your business as you see fit. Obviously, there's guidelines, but so I was, you know, so there's like so many different women, and they were like from all of them had college degrees. I guess the women that I saw, my mom does like the Spanish market, which is very different. But then when I saw the other side of it, I was just like, wow, you know, like there's actually like a lot of possibility and opportunity in that. And I could see myself doing that. So that's kind of like what kind of gave me that, oh, like, you know, maybe I could do that too. So,
Gotcha.
so I've been doing it now I even had my own business now for 2 years.
Oh, really? Cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Who was that?
I would say it was probably more my mom, but like just being able, like when I went to that event and I saw like all that it could be was kind of like the awakening moment. And then I went back to think of like the way that I grew up and how my mom was, you know, she was a work-at-home mom, not a stay-at-home mom, but she was there for a lot of the things, but she was also making money and able to provide for the family along with my father. So then I was kind of like thinking, obviously I was married, so I'm like, okay, well, I want to do that for my family. Like that would be awesome to have that opportunity. So then that's when I was kind of like, yeah, like I think this is a good route to go. And so I took the plunge.
So I don't know, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So you've met different like powerful women in the organization.
I have.
Rubbing elbows or breaking bread, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think some of that has kind of like rubbed off on you, or?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So I moved pretty quickly. Like obviously, like there's different levels that we have.
Okay.
You know, you start as a consultant, and you can move your way up to, you know, earning a car and driving, and then driving a new free car and becoming a sales director. So I did that all within my first year.
First year?
Yeah. So.
What's the regular, like, how long does it take usually?
It literally varies. Like there's women
it depends on how much you want it, right?
And I truly believe that. There's people that they sign up, you hear stories, and they do it like in their first months or in their first couple months that they do it from signing their agreement, from the moment they decide they're going to do it, they do it in a couple months. And I mean, for me, like it took 12, you know, it took my first full year before I finished both of them.
Quick though.
But, you know, and then like for my mom, it took her a few years. Some women, it take them several years. So it really just depends on like how much and like that kind of, and that kind of goes into like whatever else I'm doing in my life is it depends on how much you want it and how much effort do you put into it. Some people will just do it for a little bit and realize that it's hard and then they'll quit.
Yeah.
And it goes, you know, that's like the same thing for everything and in everything in your life. You can quit school because it's hard. You can quit, you know, you can quit your business because it's hard. So it's just a matter of the people who keep going and have the passion and the discipline to keep going and doing it, then you're going to do it. The driving factor, I would say, is the passion. I think is like, you know, you always have to have like a larger vision, right? So it's kind of like, when we go to these events, then the people who are at the top of the company are the ones who get to be on stage, and they're the ones speaking into the rest of us, telling us, you know, like you could do it and this and this, and giving us tips and like life lessons to kind of do it. And that's what I see myself doing. I see myself being a motivator, like a leader in the company and in life, like even for like other things in life that I would get invited to, I can see myself doing that. So it's kind of like, well, I have to prove to everybody that it's possible to get to that level, so I have to do it myself first before people are going to start listening to me. So, I mean, right now, like, I can do it, like, within my unit and, like, you know, some other units of other directors that I work closely with. So I get to kind of pour into those women, which I love. So I think it comes down to more of a passion. I think my day job, that's more of, like, I have to go because I have to pay off those student loans. But, like, when I do my Mary Kay business, it's because this is what I want to do, because I know that in the long run, this is what's going to return the most to me, like without thinking it too hard, because I like to kind of follow my gut. Elena, which she might not even know it, has been like a big influence on me because she is such a hard worker, and like I mean, you interviewed her, so she, you know, she's got the 2 kids, and then she's just has so much going on, and she's always so positive. Believe in yourself, that whatever dream it is that was placed in your heart, it was placed there for a reason, and you just have to work towards it to make it happen, but not to give up, because if it was placed there, you can reach it.